Let's turn to East Africa now. Kenya's government may have agreed to reduce its stake in Safaricom from 35% to 20%, but it is still keen to see the telecommunications company split into 3 units. Well, put very simply, the government is in talks with Vodacom, which will own 55% of the company after this transaction is done, to split Safaricom into a mobile phone tower operator, a fintech company, and a standalone telecommunications firm. Now, last month, the World Bank urged Kenya's communications regulator to use updated regulations to, quote, encourage infrastructure sharing. Firms with extensive coverage, according to the bank, can delay, restrict or set unfavorable terms for access, creating higher costs for smaller companies and potential entrants. This was part of my conversation with the Kenyan finance minister 24 hours ago.
It is not completely off the table. It is a discussion that is still going on. In fact, we feel very strongly that going forward, if the 3 are split, then obviously the value of the farm is going to increase exponentially. That is a discussion that we are still holding with the Vodacom. If we can have the M-Pesa separate, the infrastructure separate, these mask and all the rest are put as separate entity, and then we have the telecom side, we may end up with a higher value.
So in effect, the current model is a bit of a value trap, because you have effectively this old telco firm and this fast-growing fintech company sort of lumped together. And it doesn't give you room for a lot of value discovery, does it?
Yeah, there is that discussion that we need to have that split if we have to maximize the value. And that discussion, as it began, it is still going on, and it is not going to be affected by this transaction. Once that is concluded, obviously, if the value of the farm will go up, the remaining 20%, the remaining, whoever has the shareholding, their value will definitely go up. But that is something that has to be discussed and agreed and concluded.
Walk me through the thinking here, because if you have, and I know the World Bank had an interesting paper out in November where they're talking about the need for infrastructure sharing in the telco space, right? They made the argument that, look, these are utilities, right? So it makes a ton of sense to just have one company, or at least a small group of companies, handling the cell sites, the fiber assets, and so on and so forth. Put that in one group, and then anyone else can then plug in and offer differentiated services on that one network. Is that the thinking that you have at Cabinet?
Well, there have been a lot of presentations, I will tell you, around this space on how to maximize value out of Safaricom, and there are many. So that is one of them, and it is something that our technical people are looking at, and the discussion is between the shareholders to look at how do we maximize the value. And again, if I may discuss that further, I may end up now getting into discussing the running and the technicalities, and which would not be right, in my view.